Protect Kids Online live stream. Today, we're going to be talking about should you give your child a smartphone? Yes or no? I want to know what you think. And tag a friend or family member that you know would like to watch this video. I've been asked this question so many times. And today, we're going to finally talk about it. So get all of your questions ready. We're about to begin.
Welcome to the Protect Kids Online livestream. I'm CyberFareedah. I have a background in cybersecurity awareness, threat intelligence, online gaming, and other nerdy stuff. I've taken my gaming experiences and professional background to help parents like you protect their children online. I'm known as an award-winning Forbes 30 Under 30 internet safety expert, and I've been in some places on the internet and beyond that you may recognize. So, without further ado, let's talk. 3, 2, 1.
Da, 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 da. I love talking about internet safety. So welcome in. If you can see the slides and you can see everything going, type 1 in the chat. But I want to know, what do you think? Do you think that kids should have smartphones? Yes or no? What do you think? Whether it's for your own kids, is there a particular age that you see is best for kids to have a smartphone? And when I say smartphone, I mean smartphone, but we can also be talking about regular phones. We can talk about like flip phones, dumb phones is what they're calling it now, kids phones. At what age do you think that smartphones is the best? That is exactly what we are going to be talking about today. Okay, so the answer is yes for me. In me creating this, my answer is yes, if these following things apply to you and your family. One is that you are ready for the can of worms that opens when you have the smartphone, when you have a smartphone available. It's always a can of worms. As soon as you get a smartphone, especially when it's connected to the internet, they're able to talk to friends and family. If you're ready for that, then fine. Okay, we can talk about maybe getting a smartphone. If you're ready to dedicate time and effort to protect their phone and their online accounts, then maybe they're ready for a smartphone. Every time we talk about smartphone safety or protecting kids online, we always think about, are the kids ready? What age can kids have the phone? But I want you to think, are you ready for the emotional turmoil that it takes to protect your kids' phones? So, Sesamos, I don't know. Am I mispronouncing your name? I feel like I am. Says depends on the family and child. I absolutely agree. I don't think that before 13 is a good choice. Yeah, that's one of the things I said on here is that you want them to be mature and responsible. So are they going to lose the phone? Are they going to keep breaking the phone? Are they responsible in terms of the rules and guidelines you set as a family? They're actually going to follow them. And if you have any problems, you can have an open, honest, non-judgmental conversation. It's always going to depend on the family, but here are things that you want to consider if you're deciding whether or not to get a smartphone. The next is you want them to develop digital literacy with your guidance and empower them through tech. So one thing is, I know your child may have said this to you. It's like, okay, well, if I don't have a smartphone, then I'm going to be behind, or all of my peers are going to think that I'm stupid, or that I'm going to get bullied. You don't want to give a smartphone just because they feel like they're going to be outed in their friend group. Being able to be different than their friends can give them a lot of confidence, especially if they know why you're doing it as a family. However, there is a case for your kids understanding how to use technology and it benefiting them in their life so far. Have you seen all of the news about AI and machine learning or artificial intelligence being the the bane of many schools' existence right now? Technology is going to always become a thing. So knowing that them using their phone can help them in that way can help you have that conversation and how to keep them safe. But also maybe it is time for them to get a phone. I believe the best maturity age is between 13 and 16 years old. The later that you can do it, the better. There's like an organization that has parents sign a pledge where it's like 10 or more parents can sign a pledge together, and they can wait until their child is in like 8th or 9th grade, and then they give them a phone. So the more mature they are, the older they are, is typically the better. Or maybe you need the phone for safety for your child. You need to check in. You need to communicate with them. You need to know where they are. That's a good reason to have a cell phone for your child. The answer is no for giving your child a smartphone if you meet these categories. So If you don't have time to add safety and security measures, then it's probably not the best time to give them a smartphone, because when you give them a smartphone, you're opening up a can of worms. And if you're not protecting that smartphone, then there's a lot of access that predators, that hackers, there's cyberbullying issues, mental health issues, distractions, addiction that you're worried about. So you need to be able to add safety and security features. That might take you 30 minutes, it might take you an hour, but dedicating that time, whatever, how many ever children you have, dedicating that time for each child is very, very important. If they're asking and begging for a phone, but their only reason for having a phone is that they want social media and they have no plans to use it for any future goals for their whatever their goals are, then the answer is no. Like you'll be fine. It's fine. You don't have to have a phone. Felicia says not many people have home phones anymore. That is true. That is very true. So if they're home alone, that's where I'm wondering, but we are still 2 years out from there. Exactly. Yeah. Because if you're leaving your child alone in your house, then that means that you believe that your child is responsible enough and mature enough to be able to handle not having their parents, you, in the house for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, and you're okay with that. So maybe if they're in that space and you do not have a home phone, then having a phone is a way to go. Another thing is if you believe they're not mentally ready to handle the phone and everything that comes with it, you already know what comes with it. If you believe, oh gosh, you have that sinking feeling or your heart's just like, no, I don't believe this is right for my child, then it's not right for your child. You know, you are the expert in your child's, no matter what anyone says, you're the expert in your child. Next is that they've shown that they're responsible, that they're mature, they can take care of themselves, they talk to you, they're open, they're honest. And of course, if they're younger than 12 or 13 years old and it's not for safety readings, then the answer is no. But if they have not shown that they're mature, they have not shown any of that, then the answer is no for a smartphone. Again, it is very nuanced. Okay, so your choices are, after we talked, your choices are you can get them a smartphone, but you have to take time with safety, with security, with safety controls, with having the tech talk, or you can wait until they're older or more mature. I always group safety advice and guidelines in 3 groupings. If your child is like you're a newborn child up until the age of 7, and then there's the second grouping from 7 years old to 14, and then 14 to 21. But in this case, it's 14 to 18. That is the typical best age range for kids to have a phone. However, sometimes 13 works good or 12 works good. Whatever works for your family, and you know this is for safety reasons, this is for communication reasons. I have to leave the house. I need to know where they are. Then you have to make a decision that's best for you. Just get them a smartphone, but add security and safety and have the tech talk. Another is getting them a flip phone. So we're going to talk about flip phones in a second, but that is actually an option. The only con with flip phones is they don't really have much parental monitoring or parental controls at all, but they are dumbed down as compared to smartphones. So that's an option that you can do. The next is to give them a kid phone. And I get asked this question all the time. Is Gab Wireless safe for kids? Is this kid phone? Is this Pinwheel good for kids? Is whatever good for kids? So we're going to talk about it, and we're going to get into what I believe, as someone who has a background in cybersecurity awareness, threat intelligence, and online gaming, what I believe you should do when it comes to these companies and the phones that they give you. Okay, so flip phones are coming back. And I saw this clip from, I think is Good Morning America or Today Show. I think it's Today Show. And I want to watch it with you because I think it's awesome. So if you can hear the clip, just say, just type 1 in the chat if you can hear the clip, just so I know that everyone's good to go. You can hear it. So I'm going to play it. Who is it from? Oh, it was from the Today Show. Sorry, Good Morning America. It was from the Today Show, but I thought it was pretty good because it's saying, why is Gen Z ditching smartphones for flip phones? Let's watch.
Hello.
The year 2000 is calling.
Yeah.
And this time, Generation Z is picking up.
Allow me to demonstrate.
Yay,
Flip phones, complete with custom ringtones and bejeweled exteriors, are back in style.
Without mode, please press left software key.
Even celebrities are dialing into the fun. Singer Camila Cabello tweeting this month, "I'm Team Flip Phone Revolution." Hashtag Flip Phone has racked up hundreds of millions of views on social media. thanks to videos like this.
It eliminates all of the bad things about college and brings all of the good things about a phone.
College student Sammy Palazzolo and her friends swap out their smart devices for 90s era tech when they go out.
I see my phone as the biggest hindrance when I'm in social settings because I'm checking it. I want to be in the moment as much as I can.
Devin Ashby in Nashville agrees.
It's like great to have like those genuine moments rather than like an edited picture on Instagram.
Google searches for flip phone jumped by triple digits over the past 5 years.
Crazy.
When I got my flip phone, things instantly changed. One student, part of a club promoting a social media free lifestyle, told the New York Times, "It made me observe myself as a person." Just as smartphones and social media have exploded, so has the rate of teen depression.
What's the balance of connection and presence with those in my life that I want? And how do phones either add to that or take away from that? Every generation can answer that question.
So if you're looking to dial back screen time without completely ditching your device, experts say quiet notifications with features like Do Not Disturb.
That's good.
Keep your phone out of your bedroom and use apps like Space or Off the Grid to limit your browsing time. Tools to call back your freedom
I don't know
in the
much about
age
those
of
apps.
technology.
Okay,
So I
so while
can't
yes, you can
recommend
find
it.
an OG flip phone, some of the relics on eBay. We're seeing companies develop new models too, from Samsung's $1,000 Galaxy Z Flip 4 to these more reasonably priced ones. So what do you think? Should we try it out? Want to take a look? Let's take a picture. Let's see.
So
what
I think this is like a good video to watch with your kids and to see their reaction to flip phones if you're deciding to give them a flip phone. Again, the con with flip phones is that there's not a lot of parental controls with it. So you're giving it to a kid that's a little bit more responsible, but you're not ready for the smartphone conversation or the smartphone lifestyle, okay? So that is one way that you can add flip phones. Let me know what you think about flip phones. Would you use it for your kid? Do you think that your child would be okay with it? Even if you like bejewel it, put on the jewels, add little stickers, if they're going to be fine using a flip phone, I'm very curious. I thought this was pretty cool. And under the comments of this video, I had some teens comment, which I really loved their comments. One, Jason B says, finally, the media is pushing positive in a constructive story. Social media and the internet has been pure cancer for a long time. I'm all for kids using phones like I was in high school. And then MD Land is Gen Z. He said, hey, as a Gen Z dude, I seriously hope these come back. I had one when I was in 6th grade because my mom gave it to me for safety. Shout out to mom. After that, I've only had a smartphone, and now I just graduated high school. And I feel as if every day is Monday and half my time is spent scrolling mindlessly on apps. And the reason why I say if you have teens or tweens to watch this video and this comments with them is because you want to see their perspectives on smartphones and digital safety and flip phones and have an open, honest, non-judgmental conversation with them so that when you're bringing up the subject again or you're deciding whether or not to get a smartphone, you know where they stand and you're able to have that conversation again. So not every conversation about internet safety has to be like, oh, we're making a decision now where you can't do this, or just getting their thoughts would be amazing, amazing, amazing. So I suggest that you watch this video with your kids. I can put it in the comments where you can get it. And the Cheese Man says, I don't pay much attention to trends of my peers, but it feels validating to see others in my generation who had the same problems as me with social media addiction going to the same solution. I'm not alone. I'll be switching to a flip phone as soon as it comes in and rooting for it to get Spotify. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, yes. Bring back the durability so that, you know, if you drop it, it's not going to shatter into pieces. It's going to be the Nokia unbreakable phones. Like, yes, that was the best. Okay. So here's a question I get all the time, and I've been asked, even for the parents that could not join us today. One of the number one questions that I got asked, and when I say number one, I got asked like 5 to 6 times between yesterday and today, is can you please talk about Gab Wireless and their phones? Here is what I'm going to say. There has not been, and in my research, I have not been able to find any security researchers or security experts that looked into the Gab Wireless phone. So I don't know the positioning on security and safety. As you know, my background is in security, so I'm always thinking about security. When I recommend something to you, I try as much as humanly possible. I do make mistakes. We're going to talk about a mistake I just made in like a couple minutes, but I make mistakes. And I try as much as possible to make sure that anything I recommend or talk about has just enough security for me to feel like, you know what, if I were to use this for my child, I would be okay with it, and I would absolutely feel good recommending it to you. I have not gotten that feeling with Gab Wireless. I've not seen what they use for security and safety. I checked out their website, and here is what I found. They had a great like detailed thing of what they do with your kids' data and privacy. Security, they only had like a one paragraph, I don't know what it was, like 3 sentences, maybe 2-3 sentences on security and safety. And that it make me feel good as someone whose background is cybersecurity, because the security section should be just as big as their sections with child privacy. The reason being is because you want to make sure that those phones are safe and secure, and the information they're collecting on your kids is safe and secure and not easily accessible by anyone. However, this is what I'm going to say about Gab Wireless. What is the thing that this is what I'm going to say about Gab Wireless. And let me make my OG flip phones low. I know, we're in history. It's OG. Okay. It's the original flip phones. It's whatever. So, okay. When it comes to Gab Wireless, if you're currently using Gab Wireless, if you're using Pinwheel, if you're using any of these other kid phone apps that is like severely locked down for your kids, and you're feeling good that you're using it and you're absolutely loving it, and the flip side of it, or the alternative of using a Gab phone or a Pinwheel phone or any other very kid-centric phone where there's no internet or there's not a lot of features, if that's working for you, that is absolutely amazing. I'm not going to tell you to uninstall it, but I'm not going to tell you to throw away the phone. I'm not going to tell you to cancel the subscription. I'm not going to say anything of that nature because I don't have any evidence that Gab phone is bad for your kids or unsafe for your kids. I'm not going to say that. And if you ever hear me say anything like that, that means that I have concrete proof to show that, hey, there's research studies, there's all of these evidence that the phone is not safe for your kids. Because I don't have that, and I hope that I never ever find that, to be honest, because I love what Gab is doing, and I love what all of these companies are doing because it's so, so, so needed. It's just that I'm not comfortable giving it to you. So hopefully you understand that. Hopefully it's like everyone's like, okay, because I would love to recommend it, but I can't recommend it and not feel bad about it. I'm going to think about it for the rest of my life. Okay. So I have to be sure that what I'm recommending is the best possible. But if you're using it and you love it, I'm not going to say anything about it. It's better to have more safety and more security for your kids in one area. Security is about decisions that you make. What's more secure, what's less secure. So nothing is ever going to be 100% secure, 100% foolproof, right? So I don't really believe in brands saying, oh, this parental control is foolproof. This phone is foolproof. There's no such thing. Anything can be accessed by a predator or hacker, but I just want to make sure the company is taking security seriously. And I don't have any evidence I don't have any evidence that they are or not, basically. So I'm not going to say anything about Gab Wireless, but if you love it, that's amazing. I love it. That's great. I love it. All right. So, and let me know if you know anything more about them. I would be happy to be in contact with their team and to see, do they have a privacy team? Do they have a security team? Like, that would be absolutely amazing. I just don't know anything yet, so I'm not going to do anything. Okay, so let's talk about Family Tech Playbook. What you can do if your child already has a smartphone and you want to make sure that you're approaching technology, safety, security, privacy in the best way possible. That's what we'll talk about. At any time, as I'm talking, if you're watching the replay, #replay, you can still ask me questions. I will answer them. I'll go back to answer them. The one thing that you want to do is set up family tech time. So ask them to show you something that they have seen that made them feel really happy. Maybe it made them laugh. Maybe it was like something super surprising. It was a fun fact. It made them super curious, or things that made them angry or things that made them sad. The reason why I say do this with your kids is because you want them to get used to talking to you about the internet and tech in neutral ways, fun ways, and sad ways. Because when it comes time for them to talk to you about any of the bad experiences they had, or if a predator tries to reach out to them, or someone makes them feel uncomfortable online, it's easier for them to come to you and have that conversation and not feel like they're not going to be listened to. And so you want to develop that normal talk about the digital world, normal talk about online activity, so that when you really need to have that talk, you have less walls up for them. The next is setting up weekly or monthly nights where everyone plays a mobile or computer game together. So this game could be games that you play together. It could be, I don't know, Monopoly. It could be Twister. It could be Uno. It could be Words with Friends. It could be Animal Crossing. It could be Fortnite. It could be Minecraft. It could be Roblox. It could be whatever it is. Or it could be you play Candy Crush, your son plays Roblox, your daughter plays Minecraft, and your husband's on Call of Duty, and all of you are just in the living room and you're playing together for an hour or 2 hours, and then you have dinner or it's after dinner, whatever you want to do. That's one way that you can do it because you want to show your kids that you're engaged in technology with them. Maybe it's you're totally not a gamer and you're not interested in playing Minecraft or Candy Crush. You really want to read a book. You can pull out your Kindle, you can pull out your reader, like your Amazon reader, whatever it's called, and you can read that while they're doing that. Another thing is setting up weekly or monthly TV or movie nights with your family. Another way to set up movie nights, but to use an internet safety way, is to watch documentaries. So watching shows like The Catfish, watching shows like Undercover Underage, watching shows that highlight the problems with the internet, like Social Dilemma, where you're watching something that's engaging, that's clearly something that's made to keep the audience watching for a very long time. You can pull up YouTube videos and watch it in full, then watch it with your family member, whatever works for you, but making sure you're having those conversations. And then after you're watching this security and safety, Felicia's like, yeah, I'm definitely not a gamer. You don't have to be. Yeah, like you absolutely don't have to be a gamer. You just, you know what I mean? A good book does us very well. If you're not into books, you might be knitting, whatever it is, whatever works. Okay. Maybe you scroll through Facebook, scroll through Instagram, scroll through TikTok, whatever it is, so long as all of you are using technology in some type of way together so that it's normal. Flo with Joe was like, great idea. Yay. Very happy that you love the idea. So these videos can be anything about cyberbullying, human trafficking, grooming, healthy relationships, gaming safety, social media privacy, internet security, porn, every single topic under the sun that you believe they're ready for, that they're mature enough for. I would start these type of conversations between the ages of 7 and 14. That's when you want to do it. So if your child's the age of 7 and 14, that's when I would set up monthly or weekly, whatever works for you, bi-weekly, bi-monthly, movie nights or family nights where you sit and watch it and you have a discussion together. So after you watch these things, you turn to each other and you start discussing it. Again, you can go to Hulu, you can go to HBO, you can go to news, you can go to YouTube, whatever you need. The next is creating a digital scrapbook. So you can use Google Family or Google Slides. I made this presentation in Canva, like real quick with the quickness. You can use that as well with your family. You can develop photos, and you can make a scrapbook and share it with each other or create it together. And of course, you can create music if you're a music family or you have kids that are really into music, downloading an app and playing music together or singing. That's a really great way to add add technology in a positive way that you're engaging. The next is downloading a karaoke app, like I said before, or using YouTube or TikTok to bake a recipe or cook something as a family. And I hope that all of you, that you're finding the connection between smartphone safety and engaging with technology, because you cannot protect your kids online if they believe that they cannot talk to you, if they believe that technology is not something that's accepted in the family, because they will close down on you when you're trying to protect them and their smartphones. You want to make it totally normal to engage with technology, totally normal to talk about technology. So bake, and you want them to understand that technology can be used in various ways. They're experiencing technology beyond scrolling through TikTok and consuming content and not doing anything. They're experiencing technology beyond chatting with their friends on Discord for hours on end. They're experiencing technology beyond spending time on Roblox and Minecraft, which all of those activities that I said are not the worst thing in the world, but you do want them to use it in the best way. So for example, YouTube and TikTok. What's something they're consuming on YouTube that you can take into your real life and do as an offline activity as a family? Maybe it's baking, maybe it's cooking something. You can ask everyone to save recipes from YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, and you can make it together as a family. You can share it in the family group chat. You can also use the smartphone if you have a child that's like super interested in YouTube, or they're really interested in becoming an editor or a director or a producer or an actor or an actress. You can use their smartphone to create content, but you're not creating content online. You're keeping it for your family, for your own memories, and you're honing your child's love for the technology in a way that can benefit them as they get older. So if they're starting to do this activity and they're 10 years old or 12 or 14 years old, by the time they reach college or they start their own business or they start their career, they're gonna have a lot of experience. Okay, when they go to college and they say we need 10 years experience in filming, they'll be like, yeah, I got that because I've been filming since I was 7 years old. So this is what we want for your kids if they have a smartphone. Another thing is using TikTok or ChatGPT, which is like an AI, to plan things together, to do activities together. So maybe you can plan a dream family vacation. You can use tools and social media to do a presentation on Google Slides, anything using technology in their phone for positivity. You can read books together. You can research a topic together. You can use this time to do something in Audible, like listen. I love Audible. Right? So you can listen to Audible. You can get a book reader, whatever that is. And then if they really want a smartphone and they're begging you for a smartphone, ask them to convince you to give them a smartphone. So however they learn, maybe they could do a speech, maybe they could do a presentation, they can do an essay, they can do a video on why they should have a smartphone, and tell them to do research on the good, the bad, the ugly. Ask them in detail, how will you use the good and amazing parts of the internet, and how will you protect yourself from the bad of the internet? And this is from their own research, so that once you decide to give them a smartphone, they're old enough, they're more mature, they're responsible, you feel good about it, you have time to add safety and security, they're on your side and you're doing this together, and it's not something you're doing to them when you're adding security and privacy controls. The next is putting away phones an hour or so before bedtime. These are some of the things that you want to have in your guidelines. Putting away phones at mealtime or just family-focused times. Everyone having their phone location on so that you can track them. They know where you are, you know where they are. Them understanding that it's just like it's a family thing. I was just on a conversation with a teen and a mother like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, she didn't want to have like her phone location on, and I was explaining how most people, a lot of families, they share the location. Mother and son, mother and daughter, daughter and father, whatever it is, father and son, father, husband and wife, husband and husband, mother and mother, they will share their location with each other because they want to make sure that they're being safe. It's not just for kids, it's for everyone. Using a password manager to manage passwords is a really good way to manage all your family passwords, keep track of your kids' passwords, keep track of your password. You can use something like 1Password to do that. That's like a great app. It's like less of a headache to use a password manager. And then giving your kid, if you decide to give them a smartphone, you don't want that phone to just die. You can no longer communicate with them. You don't know if they're safe. You don't know where they are. So having like a portable charger, I have a portable charger here. Let me see it. Oh, I need a stretch. Okay, so I have a portable charger here, and I keep it charged because it's absolutely amazing. And it has like 2 ports, and you can get it on Amazon. It's like $25. This is huge. However, you can get an even smaller one for your kids. It doesn't have to be this big. I have a smaller one. You don't have to do that. And then, of course, using native parental controls, which is what we're going to talk about. Another thing, if you're giving your child a smartphone, is you want to lead by example. So every single thing that you're doing on your phone, you want to make sure that you're giving them a clue on how they should operate online. You're developing and signing a contract together. I have a contract at protectyourchildonline.com. Inside of the Protect Kids Online movement, I created a tech contract. You can go check that out if you want to. You also want to come up with agreed upon screen time limits. Okay, so that they understand that screen time is not just about what you say, but about what they feel as well. And then, of course, open, honest conversations and giving them the why behind each and everything that you do. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is how to protect your child's smartphone. But before I do that, I'm going to take a second and see if you have any questions. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll take 30 seconds to see what questions you have. Felicia says, Costco here in Canada has a lot of great portable chargers. Oh yeah, Costco's the best. I just got an executive membership at Costco. I got my picture done and I didn't have my glasses, so I looked absolutely crazy without my glasses, and it was like a blurry picture, but I'm glad I got it. They convinced me to get an executive membership. So shout out to Costco for that. They have great portable chargers. Thank you for that, Felicia. The generation alpha is also called screenagers. What? I did not know that they're called screenagers. Are you kidding me? Okay, I'm gonna look that up. That's hilarious. I did not know that. Felicia says, "Oh yes, we have the executive too, huh? So worth it. It is so worth it." Hello, I'm racking up points. I need to go get. I need to order from Costco again. I want to get French fries. I love French fries. I am going to have an air fryer that I got. This is totally off subject, but I got an air fryer and I'm very excited about French fries. I'm about to have some French fries soon. Okay, so let's talk about how to protect their smartphone. Because there are things that you need to do to protect them. There's like security things, and then there's parental control things. I think most of you know the parental controls. We're very like aware of that. But one thing that we don't talk about enough is like the security controls. So here are the security controls that are pretty safe. You have Google, Apple, Microsoft, Norton, or native parental controls. Native essentially is just any application your child is using, any game your child is using, any smartphone your child has. Whatever that smartphone is, they should have security controls within it or parental controls within it. That's all native means, whatever the app already gives you in of itself. Here's the thing though. If you're looking for exactly what these parental control apps offer, all of these that I've listed here, go to this video. Can I copy? Yeah, copy video URL. That's perfect. And go to this video and I break down exactly the best parental control apps, which is the 4 things, the 5 that we just talked about, and all of their features, how much they cost, what did they give you. So go to that video if you don't know what parental control app to use. However, the reason why I only gave those parental apps to use is because there's a research paper that came out that said that a lot of the parental control apps that parents are using are not safe. Let me find this research paper. This is a research paper. And I can put the research paper in the comments. If you're interested, let me know. If you're interested in the research paper, just say interested. And there's research paper number 1 that came out in 2020. And I think the other one was 2021, I believe, something like that. The first one is Betrayed by a Guardian, Security and Privacy Risk of Parental Controls. And another one is Safer Internet Solutions and Pitfalls. I'm a nerd in this, so I read the entire paper, both papers twice, at least twice. I think almost 3 times, to be honest, because I wanted to make sure any information, Felicia's like, yes, I'm interested. I love research. I want to make sure that any information I give you is sound. Okay. So I have something to back me up. So let me, you know what? Here's how you can get the research. I realized I did not save the links here. But if you go to this video, I have the links in the comments. Copy video URL. In the comments, in the description, I put the research paper. But essentially, and Felicia, I'll respond to you and I'll give you the research paper as well. Pretty sure I will remember. But anyways, essentially, it's saying that some of the parental control apps are not safe for your kids and can allow a predator or hacker to get access to your kids' information. You don't want that. You absolutely do not want someone tracking your child that is not you. The whole point of having a parental control app is to make sure that your child is safe. So why would you want to install something that is not as safe as it's made out to be and they don't have a security team? Now, any of these apps that I mentioned in these videos, it does not mean that they're a horrible company and you should never use them. It just means I don't recommend using them right now because I have not seen them make sure that their security is good. I don't know if they have a security team to fix this or fix it again if it comes up. So you want to make sure the apps that your kids are using are safe. Felicia's like, thank you. You're welcome. So this is, I think I gave you the link to that. Okay, great. So these are the 37 apps I talked about to not download. We're not going to get into that here, but this is the reason why I don't recommend any random parental controls, because they can allow hackers or predators access to your kids, and that's very, very serious. So that's the reason why I only gave those companies, Microsoft, Norton, Apple, and Google Family Link. Those are the ones that I said. Life360 had some problems with security and safety. It's my hope that they change their security and safety. They update it, they upgrade it, they secure their app. I don't know if they have done that already. So I'm still on the, I wouldn't recommend Life 360 yet. I know that's like very shocking because millions of parents use it. They've had a lot of trouble with privacy and security in terms of family. And I'm just not 100% feeling good that they're actually going to protect your kids. So I don't recommend Life 360. And here is the thing that I talked about before about my mistake. I used to talk about Custodio because I had not seen anything about security and safety with them. But it turns out that this research paper said, yeah, their security was not up to par. It was not good. Okay, it was not good. So yeah, that's why I'm like, okay, Custodio also is not something that I recommend until they get their security and safety together. I don't know if they have, so I'm still like apprehensive right now. We're not doing that. Dun, 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 dun. So if you're looking to give your child a smartwatch and you're different, you don't want to give them a smartphone, but you also want to keep track of them. You want to be able to communicate with them, but you don't want them to have a phone. A smartwatch is an amazing option. I know that sounds crazy and counterintuitive because I literally just said that smartwatches are not safe on the screen, but this video goes into why certain smartwatches are not safe and certain smartwatches had security issues and safety issues. Maya says you're interested, so here's the link. Is this the link? Yeah, this is the link. So that's the link to the YouTube video on smartwatches, the best smartwatches. Long story short, the best smartwatches are the phone companies you're already using. So Apple's probably the top one. You have Samsung, you have Google. I know Felicia's like, oh yes, it's a rabbit hole I went down recently. Yeah, it's a rabbit hole. Like it's a lot. Especially when you realize that some of these smartwatches are not like they didn't have good security. And so that's why I'm very careful on what I recommend. Can you use any smartwatch you want? You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. But if you're thinking about your child's security and safety and their data online and a predator accessing that, I would be very, very careful and not downloading any parental control or just any watch that's available. Like I would be very careful. Here's some internet security considerations that I want you to take. There was a study that came out by, I believe it was McAfee, and there was an article on Forbes talking about how there was I will pull up the study if I can. Let me see if I can pull up the study. If you want me to pull up the study. McAfee. Oh, here it is. Okay. I found it. Oh, yeah. This was from 2022, February 2022, so about a year ago. And it was saying that poor security on kids' devices are keeping them at risk online. And if you're interested in this discussion, I am putting all the links. I always put links in the comments so that you can like look through it and know what's going on. But if you're interested in that study, go to there. You protecting your security, you're protecting your devices, your internet, your computer protects your child online. I cannot tell you how many stories I have heard of by parents that predators were targeting their kids because of the lack of security on their parents' devices or the kids' devices or the kids' online accounts. So when I say internet security, I mean it to protect your child online. If you look at the Forbes article from the study from McAfee, it was saying that there are certain basic things, not basic, I don't like to say basic stuff, but like foundational things that a lot of parents were not doing because you didn't know to do it. Like no one says like, oh yeah, you should have like a password manager to protect your kids' online accounts. You should tell your kids to have a good device pin or a good password, or you should store your kids' passwords in a 1Password manager. People don't talk about that. So how would you know? That's why my channel exists. Is why I talk about this all the time until my face is blue, because I want you to know how to protect your child online. If this is like feels confusing, it feels like, oh my God, this is overwhelming. How do I begin? Where do I start? Just go to protectyourchildonline.com. Let me pull up the site. Yeah, protectyourchildonline.com. I also have it as the first link in this video in the description. So like under the description in this video, it has like the title, and then it will have like the first link. That first link, protectyourchildonline.com, that's where you need to go to if you need support and help with this. Two-factor authentication. It just means two ways of telling an account that I am the person that's supposed to come into this account. You do not want a predator getting access to your child's accounts or to your child's phone or your child's anything because it was easier for them to get into. So if you have an iCloud account, right? If you have an account where it's all of your child's information or your family's information in one place, you want to see what security do they offer to make sure that I'm able to protect my child? That's what we're doing. You have antivirus, malware software, because kids love clicking on things, love downloading random games online where you're like, where did you hear of this game? Why is this on your computer? You don't want that to happen. You also want to keep their phone up to date, their computers up to date, but especially their phones. You want to only download games, only download applications from the official app store. It's the Google Play Store, it could be the App Store, whatever it is, so long as it's official. Never, ever do anything to your kid's phone that allows you to download different software on their phone, including monitoring devices, if that's not what it's supposed to do. And then, of course, adding auto lock to your kid's phone is pretty good as well. Pretty good as well. That's it. That was that was your conversation on whether or not you should give your child a smartphone. So in the beginning, we talked about, are they mature? Are they old enough? Typically, the best age, as a roundup, if you're just joining in, the best age to give your child a phone is between the ages of 14 and 18, sometimes even 13. However, it doesn't really matter if your kid is 14 years old, but they are not operating as 14, they're not responsible, they're not mature enough, they're not whatever, then a smartphone is not the best case. Maybe you get them a flip phone. Maybe you get them a smartwatch. Maybe you don't get them anything. Maybe it's just you have a certain system where you know where your child is and they don't have to have a phone because you always have a chaperone, you have a parent there, you know where they are, you're picking them up, and they don't need to have it. So essentially, you are the expert in your kid. You decide when it's best to give them a phone. No one else will know it more than you because you know your child's decision-making skills, you know how responsible they are, but the best age is between the ages of 14 and 18 or 13 and 18. Typically it's like between 13 and 18 is when you can start deciding whether or not. Before then, if you want to give them a phone, then that means you're thinking about their safety. You want to communicate with them. We want to check in. That is totally fine. Don't let anybody bully you into thinking that you're a horrible parent because you gave your child a phone at 11 years old because you wanted to know where they are. Like, that's fine. Just make sure that you have good security, you have good safety, and that you're prioritizing those open, non-judgmental conversations. Again, if you ever feel like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, just go to protectyourchildonline.com. I'm going to wait for a second to see if you have any questions. I'm going to wrap up because I have to eat dinner. Like, I haven't eaten. I was fasting. I have not had food or water since 6:30 a.m. I think it's 6:30 a.m. 6:15 a.m. in the morning. So I'm gonna go eat. Sister Moss says, thank you. It was very informative. I love the ideas. It's my absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for spending time. Felicia was like, I will be an awful parent on the other end, never giving a smartphone. Oh yeah, I mean, that's not awful. Like, so long as you're thinking about your child's safety and security, it's never going to be awful because you're prioritizing them. So no, you don't have to give them a smartphone, like, at all. Like, you don't have to do that. So yeah, but I know they're going to feel like, oh my God, I don't have a smartphone. I hate this. I hate my parents. I hate whatever. Like, they'll go through that, but typically, eventually, and I'm going to post on social media some clips I found where, yeah, they will. They most likely will. Yeah. Some kids may not. It depends on your kid, but there are other kids who are just not going to be for it. They're just going to be like, what? I hate this. I hate you. I hate life. My life is over. That's going to be a sentiment. And you know what? That's fine. You know, I believe all of us with our parents had a moment of like, my life is over. I hate this. Like, a lot of us had that, and we got through it. We got through it. I could talk about my experiences growing up, but I'm not going to because I want to wrap this up. I said I was going to wrap it up. So, but if you have any questions on smartphone safety, something I did not cover, I couldn't go really, really deep today because I did not have the time that I wanted, but feel free to ask whatever questions you have. If you're watching the replay, if you're here live, I will do another video or another live or something on Instagram. If you're not following Instagram, what's my Instagram? It's at CyberFareedah, what you can see here. It's on the screen. I don't know why I thought it was not on the screen. But anyways, follow me there and I will be posting a video on that. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I can't believe I forgot to say this in the entire live. But if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe because that is where you get the in-depth information on protecting your kids online. And every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, I go live about some random topic on protecting your kids online. So if you want to be in on the conversation, you want to know how to protect your kids on Roblox, on Minecraft, on Fortnite, on Discord, on Snapchat, or whatever, then this is the channel to be in, especially if you want a holistic bird's eye view on internet safety. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I appreciate you, and until next time, bye.